Los Angeles. The name conjures up a world of sunshine and stardom. Palm trees sway against a backdrop of azure skies. Movie stars, sleek cars, and red carpets beckon. But beneath this glittering facade, a darker reality festers. Los Angeles is a city of shadows where immense wealth casts a long and unforgiving shadow. It draws dreamers from all corners of the globe, each one hoping to strike gold in the land of opportunity. But for many, the dream morphs into a nightmare. Wages stagnate while rent and housing costs skyrocket, leaving countless Angelenos teetering on the edge of survival. One missed paycheck, one unexpected expense, can be the difference between having a home and being homeless. Los Angeles is a city of extremes. It is a place of jarring juxtapositions where opulence and despair exist side by side. On one hand, you have the allure of Hollywood, the seductive whisper of fame and fortune. Mansions perch on hillsides, offering breathtaking views and a lifestyle unimaginable to most. But venture just a few blocks away, and a different reality emerges. Skid Row, a sprawling testament to human misery, stands in stark contrast to the city's glamorous facade. Tents line the sidewalks, a makeshift city of the forgotten. The streets of Los Angeles whisper a tale of two cities. One of excess and privilege, where champagne flows freely and dreams are for the taking. The other of poverty and struggle, where survival is a daily battle. The streets of Los Angeles tell a somber story. They bear witness to a city grappling with a crisis of unprecedented proportions. Over 60,000 individuals, men, women, and children, are living without a roof over their heads. These are human beings, each with their own story of hardship, resilience, and dreams deferred. They are forced to navigate a city that often seems designed to exclude them. Homeless encampments have become a tragically familiar sight in Los Angeles. From the infamous Skid Row to underpasses, parks, and freeway underbellies across the city, homelessness is impossible to ignore. But these encampments represent only the tip of the iceberg. Thousands more individuals and families live in a precarious state of homelessness that is often hidden from view. This hidden homelessness is a silent crisis, one that often goes unnoticed until it reaches a breaking point. Behind the staggering statistics, behind the sprawling encampments and the makeshift shelters, are real people with real stories. The homeless population of Los Angeles is as diverse as the city itself, encompassing individuals from all walks of life. There are veterans among them, men and women who once risked their lives for their country. Families, struggling to make ends meet in a city with an impossibly high cost of living. Many individuals experiencing homelessness are battling mental health issues. Others are caught in the grip of addiction, and still others are fleeing abusive relationships. The faces of homelessness are diverse, each one a testament to the complex interplay of personal circumstances, systemic failures, and sheer bad luck. But they share a common thread: a lack of support, a sense of being failed by the very systems that should be there to catch them. It is all too easy to fall into the trap of stereotypes when we talk about homelessness. We conjure up images of disheveled individuals, their belongings piled high in shopping carts. But it is crucial to remember that the homeless population is not a monolith. Among them are artists and musicians, their talents hidden beneath the weight of their struggles. There are students determined to break the cycle of poverty, and there are parents fighting tooth and nail to provide a semblance of normalcy for their children. To truly understand the homelessness crisis, we must look beyond the stereotypes and recognize the individuals at its heart. These are not just statistics, they are human beings deserving of our compassion, our respect, and our support. Their stories are a powerful reminder that homelessness can happen to anyone. At the heart of Los Angeles's homelessness crisis lies a housing market teetering on the brink of collapse. The cost of renting or owning a home in LA has reached unimaginable heights. The median home price now hovers at an astronomical $800,000. The rental market offers little reprieve from this crushing reality. The average rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles can easily exceed $2,000 per month. For those struggling to make ends meet, finding a safe and affordable place to live becomes an all-consuming and often futile endeavor. This housing crisis is not a natural disaster, a force beyond human control. It is a man-made catastrophe, the result of years of policy decisions that have prioritized profit over people. Stagnant wages, failing to keep pace with the relentless rise in the cost of living, further exacerbate this crisis. Until Los Angeles addresses its housing affordability crisis with the urgency and resolve it demands, the cycle of homelessness will continue to spin. Imagine spending every day consumed by a single, all-encompassing need, finding a safe place to sleep. For the tens of thousands experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles, this is not a hypothetical exercise. It is a daily struggle for survival. With shelters operating at capacity, their beds full and their resources stretched thin, the streets become an unwelcome but unavoidable refuge. Underneath bridges, in parks, tucked away in doorways, they seek a semblance of shelter. But these makeshift shelters offer little protection from the harsh realities of life on the streets. The threat of violence, theft, and harassment is ever present. Women, in particular, face heightened dangers, their safety constantly under threat. The relentless search for shelter becomes an all-consuming task, a full-time job that leaves little time or energy for anything else. They are trapped in a cycle of survival, their days and nights consumed by the basic human need for a safe place to rest. Hunger pangs are a constant companion for those living on the streets of Los Angeles. In a city renowned for its culinary delights, finding enough to eat each day becomes a desperate struggle. Soup kitchens and food banks offer a lifeline, a beacon of hope in a sea of uncertainty. But the lines are long, the resources stretch thin, and the needs seemingly endless. Many are forced to rely on the generosity of strangers, their dignity hanging by a thread as they ask for help. But hunger goes beyond an empty stomach. It is about the lack of access to clean water, a basic human right that becomes a luxury on the streets. The hunger they experience is not just for food, it is a hunger for dignity, for respect, for a chance to live a life free from the constant struggle to survive. It is a hunger for a society that recognizes their inherent worth as human beings, and offers them a helping hand. The experience of homelessness goes far beyond the physical challenges of survival. It is a deeply isolating and emotionally draining ordeal, one that takes a heavy toll on mental and emotional well-being. The constant struggle to meet basic needs, the lack of privacy, the fear and the uncertainty, all conspire to create a sense of hopelessness. Social stigma adds another layer of difficulty to their already challenging lives. They navigate a world that often views them with judgment and disdain. The lack of a support system, the absence of a safe haven, and the constant fear of the unknown create a perfect storm of despair. The trauma of their experiences can have lasting consequences, making it even harder to rebuild their lives and reintegrate into society. The mental and emotional scars of homelessness run deep, often invisible to the outside world, but ever present in the lives of those who have experienced it. Los Angeles, the city of dreams, can feel like an insurmountable obstacle course for those experiencing homelessness. Los Angeles, the city that whispers promises of fame and fortune, can quickly transform into a cruel mirage for those struggling to afford basic necessities. The cost of living in this sprawling metropolis has reached dizzying heights. The median home price now hovers at an eye-watering $800,000. The rental market offers no respite from this crushing reality. The average rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles can easily exceed $2,000 per month. For those living on minimum wage, often juggling multiple jobs just to keep their heads above water, finding an affordable place to live becomes an exercise in futility. This housing crisis is not a force of nature, an unavoidable consequence of living in a desirable city. It is a man-made catastrophe, the result of decades of policy decisions that have prioritized developers and speculators over the needs of everyday Angelenos. Until Los Angeles confronts its housing affordability crisis with the urgency and resolve it demands, the cycle of homelessness will continue to spin, leaving countless lives shattered in its wake. Los Angeles is a city of stark contrasts where immense wealth and grinding poverty coexist. Beverly Hills epitomizes luxury with manicured lawns and designer boutiques. Meanwhile, Skid Row is a stark reminder of the American dream's elusiveness. The gap between rich and poor widens, a chasm of inequality. Until systemic issues are addressed, the city remains divided. Behind the visible signs of homelessness in Los Angeles lies a hidden crisis: mental health and addiction. Many individuals are battling unseen demons, their minds and bodies ravaged by trauma and neglect. Mental health conditions are alarmingly prevalent among the homeless population. These conditions make it incredibly challenging to maintain stable housing and employment. The constant stress of survival and lack of access to healthcare create a perfect storm of despair. The social safety net in Los Angeles, designed to catch those at risk of falling through the cracks, is often stretched thin, its threads fraying under the weight of overwhelming need. Systems designed to support those experiencing homelessness, to provide a bridge back to stability and self-sufficiency, are often underfunded, understaffed, and ill-equipped to handle the complex challenges they face. Affordable housing programs, often held up as a beacon of hope for those struggling to keep a roof over their heads, are bogged down by long waiting lists, bureaucratic red tape, and a chronic shortage of available units. For those desperate for a safe and affordable place to live, the wait can seem interminable, their hopes dwindling with each passing day. Shelters, intended as a temporary refuge from the streets, are often overcrowded, lacking in privacy and basic necessities. While they provide a roof over one's head, they often fail to address the underlying issues that contribute to homelessness, such as mental health, addiction, and lack of employment opportunities. Strengthening the social safety net is not an act of charity. It is an investment in the well-being of all Angelenos. By providing adequate funding for affordable housing, mental health services, addiction treatment, and job training programs, Los Angeles can begin to break the cycle of homelessness and create a city where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. The streets of Los Angeles are a tapestry of stories woven from lives of hardship and resilience. Each face whispers a tale of dreams deferred, of hopes clinging to the edges of despair. Michael, a former architect, sketches designs on cardboard, his genius flickering amidst ruins. Maria, a single mother, works tirelessly, her children's laughter her solace. David, a veteran, finds solace in the camaraderie of fellow veterans. These faces remind us that behind the statistics are individuals with hopes and dreams. The word homeless often conjures up a singular image in our minds: a disheveled figure huddled beneath a freeway overpass, their belongings piled high in a shopping cart, their eyes vacant and distant. But the reality of homelessness is far more nuanced. The homeless population of Los Angeles reflects its ethnic, socioeconomic, and generational diversity. Homelessness can happen to anyone. It doesn't discriminate based on race, religion, or socioeconomic status. The faces of homelessness are as varied as the stars in the night sky, each one a story of resilience, of hope flickering in the darkness. To truly understand homelessness, we must look beyond the stereotypes. Despite immense challenges, the homeless population of Los Angeles exhibits remarkable resilience, a tenacious hold on hope that shines through even in the darkest times. Amidst despair and struggle, there are glimmers of creativity, acts of kindness, and a profound sense of community. These acts of resilience are a testament to the enduring human spirit. We must move beyond judgment and embrace compassion. Recognize the dignity and worth of every individual. A patchwork of hope initiatives taking root. Amidst Los Angeles's homelessness crisis, resilience and compassion are taking root. Initiatives led by government agencies, nonprofits, and grassroots groups are emerging. From housing solutions to mental health services, these efforts offer hope. The Housing First model prioritizes permanent housing as a first step. Stable housing is the foundation for addressing other challenges. Housing First programs empower individuals to rebuild their lives. Los Angeles is expanding access to mental health and addiction treatment. Comprehensive care addresses the complex needs of individuals. Early intervention and ongoing support prevent homelessness. These initiatives offer a glimmer of hope in a city in crisis. The need for resources far outstrips availability, but with compassion and justice, change is possible. Section 2, Housing First, a paradigm shift in homelessness policy. The traditional approach to homelessness often resembled a cruel game of chutes and ladders, forcing individuals to navigate a labyrinthine system of rules and requirements before they could even dream of accessing stable housing. They were often required to prove their sobriety, their mental stability, their employability, in essence, to demonstrate their worthiness of a basic human right that should be available to all. This approach, often rooted in good intentions but ultimately flawed, often served to trap individuals in a cycle of homelessness, their progress repeatedly thwarted by a system that seemed designed to exclude rather than empower. The Housing First model, in stark contrast to this outdated approach, flips the script, recognizing that stable housing is not a reward to be earned, but a fundamental human right that should be the cornerstone of any effort to address homelessness. It is based on the simple yet profound idea that everyone deserves a safe and stable place to call home, regardless of their past struggles or current challenges. Housing First programs prioritize providing individuals with permanent housing without preconditions, offering them a safe and stable environment where they can begin to address the underlying issues that may have contributed to their homelessness. This approach recognizes that individuals are more likely to engage in treatment, find employment, and rebuild their lives when they have the security and stability of a place to call home. It is a compassionate and pragmatic approach that has been shown to be effective in reducing chronic homelessness and improving the lives of those who have experienced it. Studies have consistently demonstrated that Housing First leads to higher rates of housing stability, improved health outcomes, and reduced reliance on emergency services, such as hospitals and jails. By investing in Housing First, Los Angeles is embracing a proven solution, one that recognizes the inherent dignity and worth of every individual, regardless of their housing status. It is a testament to the power of compassion, collaboration, and a commitment to evidence-based solutions in addressing one of the most pressing social justice issues of our time. Section 2, Housing First, a paradigm shift in homelessness policy. The traditional approach to homelessness often resembled a cruel game of chutes and ladders, forcing individuals to navigate a labyrinthine system of rules and requirements before they could even dream of accessing stable housing. The Housing First model flips the script, recognizing that stable housing is a fundamental human right. It is based on the idea that everyone deserves a safe and stable place to call home. This compassionate approach has been shown to reduce chronic homelessness and improve lives. Section 3, The Power of Compassion, Nonprofits on the Front Lines. Nonprofits are on the front lines of the fight against homelessness in Los Angeles, providing essential support and compassion. Organizations like the Midnight Mission and PATH offer food, shelter, and specialized services to those in need. These nonprofits are beacons of hope, driven by compassion and community. Section 1, The Crossroads of Choice, a Call to Action. Los Angeles, a city built on the aspirations of dreamers, now stands at a crossroads. The shadow of homelessness looms large, a stark reminder of the consequences of inaction. The time for complacency has long since passed. The time for bold, decisive action is now. We must choose a path of compassion and commitment to reclaim the soul of this city. Rekindling the City of Angels, a shared responsibility. The homelessness crisis in Los Angeles is a human-made problem, the result of policy decisions and systemic inequalities. We have the power to solve it through shared commitment and compassion. Government leaders must prioritize affordable housing and mental health services. Businesses should support job training and economic justice. Homelessness affects us all and demands our active engagement. We can choose to be the change, rekindling the spirit of the City of Angels.